In this video, we're going to talk about how to calculate the area of an ellipse. Here's the formula that you need. The area is equal to pi times AB. So let's consider an example. So let's say if you have an ellipse that looks like this. And let's say you're given the length of the major axis. We're going to say it's 10 units long. And the length of the minor axis, let's say it's 6 units long. What is the area of the ellipse? So what is the area of the shaded region? So we need to know what is A and what is B. So A is the distance between the vertices and the center of the ellipse. It's along the major axis. B is the distance between the minor vertices and the center of the ellipse. So A is 1/2 of the length of the major axis. So in this example, A is 5, and B is 1/2 the length of the minor axis. So B is 3. So then the area, which is pi AB, is going to be pi times 5 times 3. So it's 15 pi square units in this example. Now let's say if you're given an equation. Calculate the area enclosed by this ellipse. So let's begin by graphing it. This particular ellipse, it's centered at the origin. A squared is 16, B squared is 9. A is always larger than B. So if A squared is 16, that means A is 4. And B is the square root of 9, which is 3. And A is under the y variable. So relative to the origin, we need to go up 4 units and down 4 units along the y-axis. So the major vertices are 0, 4 and 0, -4. Now B is 3, and that's under the x variable, so we got to go 3 units to the right along the x-axis and 3 units to the left relative to the origin. So our ellipse looks something like this. So we can see that A is equal to 4 and B is 3. So the area is going to be pi AB. So it's pi times 4 times 3. So in this example, the area of the ellipse is 12 pi square units. Now the general equation of an ellipse is x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared, which is equal to 1. Now the a squared can be under x squared or y squared. But for this particular type of graph where it's under x squared, we have an ellipse with the major axis being horizontal. For the other one, it looks like this. When the major axis is vertical, then we have this equation, x squared over b squared plus y squared over a squared, which is equal to 1. But let's use this equation and let's use calculus to derive the area of an ellipse. Let's derive the formula for it. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this term and move it to the other side. So y squared over b squared is equal to 1 minus x squared over a squared. Next, I'm going to multiply both sides by b squared. And so y squared is equal to b squared times 1 minus x squared over a squared. And then I need to get y by itself, so I'm going to take the square root of both sides. So I'm going to have y is equal to plus or minus b times 1 minus x squared over a squared. So basically this is my f of x function. So consider this ellipse. So based on the equation that we use, this is a and this is negative a. This is b and this is negative b. I'm going to find the area of the first quadrant, and then I'm going to multiply it by 4 to get the total area of the ellipse. So what I need to do is integrate it from 0 to a to get the area of this region. Now, this represents the equation for the entire ellipse. If it's just positive, I'm going to get the upper half of the ellipse. The negative part will give me the lower half of the ellipse. Since I'm only going to integrate it from 0 to a, and I want the area of this upper part, I don't need to worry about the negative sign, just the positive sign for now. So the area is going to be the integral from 0 to a of the function f of x, which is b times, this is supposed to be a square root, the square root of 1 minus x squared over a squared dx, and I'm going to multiply this by 4. So the first thing I'm going to do is replace 1 with a squared over a squared. And so this will allow me to get common denominators inside the square root. So I can write it as a single fraction, a squared minus x squared divided by a squared. And the square root of a squared is a, so I can take it out as a. And so the area is going to be 4 times the integral from 0 to a. Now I have b over a times the square root of a squared minus x squared dx. b over a is a constant, so I can move that to the front. So let's get rid of this. And so the area is going to be 4b over a times the integral from 0 to a, square root a squared minus x squared dx. Now we need to use trig substitution at this point. So let's make x equal to a sine theta. And so dx is going to be a times the derivative of sine, which is cosine theta, d theta. So let's replace x with a sine theta at this point. So this is going to be a squared minus a sine theta squared, which we can write that as a squared sine squared theta. And then let's replace dx with a cosine theta d theta. So we could cancel a with the a in front. So at this point, I'm going to factor out a squared inside the square root. So I'm going to have the square root of a squared times 1 minus sine squared theta, and then I have cosine theta d theta. The square root of a squared, that's going to come out as a. So I have the area is going to be 4b times a times the integral from 0 to a. And then 1 minus sine squared is cosine squared. So I have the square root of cosine squared times cosine d theta. So the square root of cosine squared is cosine times another cosine. So that becomes just cosine squared theta d theta. Now let's use the power reducing formula for cosine squared. So that's 1/2 times 1 plus cosine 2 theta. It's based on the half angle identities for cosine. So we have 4b times a times the integral of from 0 to a, and let's replace cosine squared with this expression. So now we can multiply 1/2 by 4, and so we're going to get the area is 2 times b times a, and now we can integrate this expression. The antiderivative of 1 d theta is going to be theta, and the antiderivative of cosine theta is sine 2 theta over 2, evaluated from 0 to a. Now, granted, we do need to change the limits of integration, but I'm going to change it towards the end. So I'm not going to worry about it now, but I'm going to introduce it later once I get my x variable. I forgot to change it when I converted x to theta, but I'll change it back to x and then put 0 to a again. So if x is equal to a sine theta, what can we say about theta? Dividing both sides by a, we could say that x over a is sine theta. So then the arc sine of x over a, that's equal to theta. So I'm going to replace theta with arc sine x over a. Now sine 2 theta, I'm going to rewrite that as 2 sine theta cosine theta. It's based on the double angle formula for sine. Now if we make a triangle, and let's say this is theta, sine theta is x over a, and sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So x is opposite to theta, a is the hypotenuse of the right triangle. So to find the missing side, it's going to be the square root of a squared minus x squared. It's c squared minus b squared to get this missing side. It's based on the Pythagorean theorem c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. In this case, a is the hypotenuse, so a is really c. And let's say this a is x, and we're solving for b. So b squared will be a squared minus x squared. And so taking the square root of both sides, b will be the square root of a squared minus x squared. It could be confusing because we have two different a's here. But the a that we're dealing with is really the hypotenuse, so just be careful with that. So now we can evaluate cosine theta based on the triangle. Cosine is the adjacent side divided by the hypotenuse. So it's going to be the square root of a squared minus x squared divided by a. So we have 2ba times arc sine x over a. And we can cancel the 2's. And then we have sine theta. We know that sine theta is x over a. And then cosine theta is what we have here. So that's the square root of a squared minus x squared over a. And now we're going to evaluate this from 0 to a, now that we have our x variable again. So let's plug in a. So this is going to be arc sine. We're going to replace x with a, so a over a, that's going to be 1. Plus a over a, which is 1 again, if you replace this with a. And then it's times a squared minus a squared, so that becomes 0. And then minus, so now we need to replace x with 0. So we're going to have the arc sine of 0 over a plus, this is going to be 0 over a, times this stuff. So that's the square root of a squared minus 0. The square root of a squared is a, divided by a, that's just 1. Now let's cancel this. Arc sine of 1 is equal to what? Sine of what angle is equal to 1? Sine of 90 degrees or sine pi over 2 is 1. So arc sine of 1, we could say it's pi over 2. The square root of 0, that's just going to be 0. And then minus arc sine of 0 is 0 because sine of 0 is 0. And this is 0 over a times 1, which is just 0. So thus the area is 2ba times pi divided by 2. And so we could cancel the 2 and therefore say that the area of an ellipse is pi AB. And so that's how you can use calculus to derive this formula.